2020 wasn't just a bad year, it was a Lulu Insanus sandwich with a side of Popazao dressing. I hate 2020. I hate it so damn much. Let's me and you put a bullet in this sumbitch right now. Forever. Number 1, COVID. Yay! Number 2, no concerts and venues closed. If you're like me before COVID, you rarely let a week or two go by without seeing a show. And yet here we are, concertless for over 9 months. The mental health deficit here can't be overstated. But the lack of concerts also caused venues to close or collapse toward bankruptcy. Bands lost hundreds of thousands of dollars each from canceling tours, and festivals had to throw fists with their insurance companies. Guys, I'm so desperate for live music, I would pay actual money just to walk onto the floor of a Guitar Center. Yeah, it's that bad. And when concerts come back, you know they're gonna look like this. Number 3, postponed albums. I don't think we'll ever know just how many albums were postponed in 2020, but here's a short list of bands that were expected to release an album in 2020, but didn't. A Day to Remember, Evanescence, Weezer, Megadeth, Mastodon, and Gojira. And there were a ton more scheduled for 2020, but were pushed into later 2020 because of the pandemic. We had to wait extra months just to hear those bands' records, and that sucked because no one likes to play the waiting game during a pandemic. Number 4, Rage Against the Machine and My Chemical Romance postponed. Okay, this one really hurt. 2 of the biggest reunion tours in history, and they both got postponed by at least a fucking year! It's weird looking back at this, but remember Rage Against the Machine were supposed to rally the troops right before the election. They would have been the live soundtrack to the George Floyd protests. But nope, post-fucking-poned. Do you remember how many emo tears Ticketmaster was sipping as MCR fans were scrambling for tickets? Now, they're drinking the salty tea of fans attempting to get their refunds. Bad 2020. Stop it. Don't do that anymore. Number 5, artists we lost too soon. I don't want to harp on this too much because frankly it just hurts too bad, but let me just say that Neil Peart, Eddie Van Halen, Riley Gale, Derek Jones, Little Richard, and the rest, I'm sorry that we can't spend 2021 with you. Number 6, Trapt. You know, admittedly, Trapt's Twitter account was some good quarantine entertainment for a while, but as the shitstorm stretched from days to weeks to months, it just became exhausting. From defending the US's botched COVID response and Trump's use of the term China virus, blaming George Floyd for his own death in part, supporting the Proud Boys, threatening to sue countless Twitter users and journalists, myself included, and spouting off about the lackluster sales of their new album, Trapt's Twitter tirade was toxic as fuck. Now, we purposely ignored Chris Taylor Brown's Twitter use after the first couple of weeks, but still, I think we should say sorry for subjecting you to all that. And speaking of Trapt, number 7, Super Spreaders. The 2020 Sturgis motorcycle rally became a meme after it was dubbed a super spreader event.
Hell yeah!
The annual event, which featured the can't-miss bill of Smash Mouth, Trapt, Jackal, and more, caused COVID outbreaks in neighboring states and contributed to giving North and South Dakota the highest COVID mortality rate in, let me check my notes, Earth, planet Earth. Nice job, everyone. Number 8, R.I.P. Stone Sour. A world with less Corey Taylor bands is a world I don't want to live in. This year, Stone Sour went on indefinite hiatus, with Corey Taylor saying that the band has kind of run its course for now. If someday we want to get back together and do some stuff, it'll be bigger than it was. But for right now, we're all kind of focused on doing our own thing. I know except. Number 9. And number 10, we weren't able to give you the content that we wanted to give you. Last year, it just felt like everything was going right. We had guests like Steve-O, CM Punk, Triple H, Jason Mewes. We had Paul Booth tattoo sessions. Gear Factor was doing great. I went to Poland to spend a day with Nurgle, and we had so many more things planned for this year. But, of course, with almost no access to artists, we just couldn't do any of it. And under the circumstances, we did the best we could. We made some content that worked, and we made some content that didn't work. And guys, from me, I just want to say sorry if we weren't able to give you the best content that we could this year. I just want this to be over, man. I just want to be able to go to festivals again and have musicians in the studio and do more Paul Booth sessions and Gear Factor and like just do stuff that requires person-to-person contact. Obviously, there's only so much we could do, but if we weren't able to take your mind off of what was happening this year and just give you some distraction therapy, then we're just sorry about that. I hope you guys are safe out there. I hope you're doing okay. And I hope we get to do some cool stuff and give you some good content. So we appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Hope to see you next year at a show.